Sickness Podcast Show. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a great Thursday evening. Hope you guys, for those that work, I hope you guys had a good day at work. And for those that did not, I hope you had a restful day at home. Anyway, it's your boy. Just want to come on here real quick, doing it a quick live, talking a little bit about our 49ers, talk a little bit about our division, and definitely talk about the same old sorry ass Rams. The same old sorry ass Rams. My goodness, those Rams. 2, 3 years ago, we had all predicted that the Rams were mortgaging the future. When they signed Todd Gurley, when they signed all those players, that we all knew they were signing they were mortgaging the future. A lot of the Ram fans were like, "No, my Rams know what they're doing." They were all excited. Went to one Super Bowl, lost it big time, and now they're falling apart. I believe they lost about 5 or 6, 7, 8 players. My goodness, they have lost quite a quite a bit of players. Let me just invite some people in real quick, and we'll get this parted. These parted started. Amen. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good time. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see who's up late tonight. Anybody up? Anybody up? Well, who's up with me? Hmm? Who is up with me on this Thursday night? We're going to be talking some 49ers. We're going to be talking some same old sorry ass Lambs. Let's see here. Let me put this in a group or two. Give me 1 second. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. So, who is up with me? Who is watching me live? If not, I will talk to myself. Not the first, and it sure won't be the last. What's up, Ismael? What's up, brother? Always the faithful Ismael. How you doing, bro? Ismael Ortiz. Welcome to the Niner Sickness Podcast. It's your boy, Niner Sickness. So, as you guys already heard about the Los Angeles Lambs, they are falling apart, and I love it. The Rams are falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. They are losing players like flies, man. They lost Todd Gurley. They cut him. They drafted him 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they drafted him in 2015. They're going into the 2020 season, and they already cut him. Unbelievable. Andre Luan, what's up? All the way from Brazil. Shout out to the Brazil. Love it, bro. Niners faithful from Brazil. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Niners Sickness Podcast Show. Let me put you on the screen, brother. Let me put you on the screen. Andre Lujan saying hello from Brazil. What's up, brother? Welcome to the Niners Sickness Podcast Show. Yeah, man. It is interesting that the Rams just a few years ago signed Todd Gurley to a big contract, signed all these players to look at his contract. If you're any of my 49ers or football groups, not Ram fans were like, yeah, my Rams this and my Rams that, and we're like, man, dude, you're signing away your future. You're mortgaging your future, and the Ram fans wouldn't have it. Then my front office know what they're doing. Blah blah blah. Fast forward 2020, they have lost quite a few people. They have lost. Let's see here. Let me tell you who they have lost so far. It is unbelievable. They have lost Todd Gurley, running back, linebacker Dante Flowers, defensive tackle Mitchell Brockers, linebacker Corey Littleton, linebacker Clay Matthews, cornerback Nickel Robbery Coleman, safety Eric Whittle, and defensive coordinator Wade Phillip. Does that sound like a team that is going to make any type of noise in the West? Does that sound like a team that is going to go into their new building, new stadium, and make any type of noise? This is why I bring this up, ladies and gentlemen, just for the fact that a lot of you are still upset that we traded DeForest Buckner. As good as he is, and DeForest Buckner will be missed, especially in our defense, man. He will definitely be missed. But this is the reason why John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are not mortgaging or not jeopardizing our football team for the future. The Super Bowl window for the Rams has shut completely. They went to one Super Bowl 2 years ago, and their Super Bowl aspiration has shut down. Their window has shut down. They are on lockdown for the virus. The 49ers don't want to make the same mistake. They don't want to put the team where we're going to have to be shut down in the next few years. The Niners are trying to be very careful that we stay competitive in 2020, 2021, 2022. You get the idea. The point is, then the front office, John Lynch, wants us to be competitive for years to come. And in order for us to stay competitive, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have to make some tough decisions. Okay, we have to make some tough decisions. We unfortunately we can't have our cake and eat it too, man. So it's either keep DeForest Buckner and hopefully we sign Kittle. Hopefully we sign Bosa down the line. Hopefully we sign Fred Warner. Or do we let a player like Buckner, who did not want to work out his contract with us? I mean, I understand he's young. I understand that Buckner is looking out for his family and he has the right to do so. But he was not going to take a discount for the 49ers. He's like, either you pay me $21 million or higher, or I'm not going to play here. And John Lynch is like, as much as we love to having you here, as good as you are, we're not going to mortgage our future. We're not going to pay you all that money and put ourselves in cap casualty like the Rams are just to try to win now. We're going to try to win in 2020. We're going to try to win in 2021 and so forth. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are trying to make this team as stable as possible for years to come. They're not trying to win just this year. So I am very proud of our front office. I'm very proud of John Lynch. I am very proud of Kyle Shanahan that they are not mortgaging the future of the San Francisco 49ers. They do not want to become the Los Angeles Rams of the West. Okay? They lost all these players because of cap casualty. And yet, they haven't even had a chance to. What are they going to use to sign Jalen Ramsey? And then they brought in this guard, which they need help in the front line. But no more running back. What are they going to do at running back? When teams try to buy Super Bowls, it never works. It doesn't. The Redskins have done it for many years. It has never worked. The Rams tried it a few years ago. It didn't work. You got to build through the draft, and you got to bring in some pieces in the free agency, but not overdo it. Listen, a lot of the Niner fans this year, they're like, man, we haven't signed anybody this year. We just, we signed our boy Oh my, Armstead, excuse me, going blank there. We signed Eric Armstead, but we lost Buckner, and we haven't really signed. We signed Jimmy. We haven't signed Emmanuel Sanders. Oh my God, we haven't brought no free. Listen, the Niners are not going to mortgage their future, man. The Niners are not just going to bring anybody just to bring them. You're not going to get. Last year, the year before, we were able to bring in free agents. Last year, we brought in K1 Alexander, huge free agent. We traded for D Ford, but our team is good. You understand when your team allows it and you have all this cap space and you have all this money, that's when teams make big splashes. Like this year, the Miami Dolphins are making big splashes. They're bringing in players. Because they're trying to improve their team. We did that throughout the years. We tried to improve our team. When Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch took over for the 49ers, they pretty much dismissed everyone on the team except uh, Salek and Joe Staley, and pretty much got rid of everybody else and rebuilt the team. And we saw free agents here, we saw free agents there, we saw a bunch of draft picks. Why? Because we were developing a team, a culture. When you have a championship pedigree, when you have a championship team like we do, you're not going to see these big old stars coming to us. Why? We have great players as it is. We have a Super Bowl team already. We just got to fit in the little players, and we can address that, in my opinion, through the draft. We do not have to address it in free agency where it's going to cost us a lot of money. We can definitely address this through the draft. We can go out, pick up a wide receiver with a 13 overall now, or we can go safety, or we can go corner, we can go guard. There's so many ways we can go. We can trade down from the 13th spot, accumulate more draft picks, and still go for a top flight player. We can get another player at 31st, or we can trade down and get more players to fit in the holes to kind of build up to see who can make the roster. When you have a good team like the San Francisco 49ers, ladies and gentlemen, there isn't a necessary reason why we have to bring a bunch of free agents. We don't. If we find a free agent that is suitable for us, if we find a free agent that will help our team, it's not cancerous in the locker room, that is willing to work in the system of Kyle Shanahan, then those are the players the Niners covet and will go after. But the Niners are not going to go after like the OBJs, the Antonio Browns, all these crazy names that, you know, Todd Gurley gets cut, and all I've been hearing on Twitter is, man, should the Niners go after Todd Gurley? Why? You guys didn't see Raheem Mostert play last year? He played better than Todd Gurley last year. You guys didn't see Coleman? You guys didn't see Matt Breida? You guys didn't see Jeff Wilson? Whenever a player is dropped or cut from another team, a lot of 49er fans immediately want to go after them. Why? Why? Tom Brady. Oh my God, should Tom Brady come to the... We have Jimmy Garoppolo. Why would you want Tom Brady? You know what I mean? 2 years back, everybody wanted Antonio Brown. Listen, let me give you a quick refreshment on this, okay? 2 years ago, when the Oakland Raiders signed, they were the Oakland Raiders. They're now the Las Vegas Raiders, but at the time, the Oakland Raiders, they went ahead and traded their third and fourth for Antonio Brown to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody wanted Antonio Brown. The Niners wanted Antonio Brown. Oh my God, we need Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is the type of player we need. a bunch of Niner fans were in love with Antonio Brown. What would you guys have done if John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan would have brought him in? You guys seen what the Raiders went through with him. They signed him from free agency. They paid him a lot of money. They gave up a third and fourth round for him, and the guy did not even make it to opening day. Okay, he was cut by the Raiders by opening day before the Raiders started day one for the 2019 season. Antonio Brown was gone. They didn't get back their picks, but yet Niner fans wanted him. Do you imagine all that chaos he would have brought to the locker room, to a Kendrick Bourne, to the Debo Samuels, to the Dante Pettises, to the Jalen Hurds? You know what I mean? He would have brought that chaos because they would have seen, look at this guy, look at the way he behaves, look at the way he acts, look what he does. The Niners don't tell him anything, and they'll start getting ideas. Right now, the 49er locker room is very legit. Very legit. They love one another, they respect one another, and they are coachable. Why would anybody want to mess with that? Yes, a talk early sounds nice, but we don't need him. Yes, a player like Clay Matthews sounds nice, but we don't need an aging linebacker when we had Fred Warner, K1 Alexander, and the young kid, Dre Greenlaw. Why would we need someone like Clay Matthews? So, guys, listen, faithful. Just because a player gets kicked out, cut, or released, or whatever from another team, don't get disappointed if the Niners don't go after them. We have a Super Bowl team. We have a Super Bowl team that just went to the Super Bowl this last past season. If you already forgot, yes, we lost, but listen, we should have won that game. Should have, would have, could have. That's a whole different show. But we were leading the Chiefs in the fourth quarter by two possessions, a touchdown and a field goal, 10 points with 7 minutes, 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Yeah, we blew it, and the Chiefs won, and we did it. But that's how close we were. We are more mature. If we sign Emmanuel Sanders back, we will bring back 21 players out of 22 because we lost to Forrest Buckner. That is not bad. Not bad at all, in my opinion. We have a lot of young kids, man. We have D Ford, we have DJ Jones, we have Eric Armstead now for 5 years. We have Nick Bosa. We have Ronald Blair, Sheldon Day. I don't know if they're going to send him back, but if they do, Sheldon Day, um, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, K1 Alexander. We have Jimmy Tart. We have Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, Killer Witherspoon. We have all these great guys on our defense. Offensively, we have our offensive line. We released persons, and so the Niners have been hearing the Niners faithful. The Niners faithful were tired of persons. They wanted persons out of here, and what do? They went and cut persons, and then they sign another lineman. We're gonna give him a shot. Let's see what this guy's about. We have Juice back there. We have Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman. We have Debo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, Trent Taylor, Dante Pettis, George Kittle. We have all these great players. They went to the Super Bowl and we lost, but we went there. We had a lead, a two possession lead by the fourth quarter. My whole point is either you trust the front office or you don't. Either you're behind John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan or you're not. Either you support them or you don't. But you can't have them both ways, ladies and gentlemen. You got to support John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and trust they continue to know what they're doing. So far, they have not led us astray. I understand a move like DeForest Buckner, a lot of you are saying, wow, what have they done? But are you looking at the whole picture? Or are you looking at a certain situation because you fell in love with a certain player? Rightfully so. I love DeForest Buckner myself. But you got to look at it as a business decision, man. You got to look at it as like a business decision. It's not just um, falling in love with the player and just going with the player. You, the Niners are trying to do everything they can to keep the Niners competitive for years to come. They want to sign George Kittle. They want to sign eventually Nick Bosa, who is a stud and will become that stud for the Niners. You know what I mean? Give me a second, real quick. Give me 1 second, gentlemen. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, much better. So it's really simple. Either you trust the front office or you don't. Either you trust what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are doing or you don't. A lot of you are calling for John Lynch's head because of the DeForest Buckner trade. What happens if in 2020 Eric Armstead has a way better season with the Niners than DeForest Buckner has with the Colts? Let's say Eric Armstead gets another double-digit season. Don, excuse me, DeForest Buckner doesn't. Then what? It wasn't. We didn't trade Forrest Buckner because we didn't like him. We didn't trade him because of the. We traded him because of cap casualty money situations. The Niners offered him 18 million a year before the beginning of last season, and he said no. He turned it down. Okay, he turned it down. So the Niners said, okay, well, apparently DeForest Buckner doesn't want to work with us, so let's try to work with Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead says, listen, I want to remain in the team. I know I like what we have here. I want to continue to contribute to what we have. I want to continue to see if we can win a Super Bowl here in San Francisco. Let's do this. Unfortunately, DeForest Buckner did not agree. He wanted his money. Yes, he wanted to win a Super Bowl with the Niners. Yes, he wants to stay, but DeForest Buckner wanted his, and he has the right. Don't get me wrong. DeForest Buckner has the right as a family man to do whatever it takes to make as much money as he possibly can for himself and his family. Absolutely has the right to do so. But he was not looking at what the team needed. He was looking more at what he needed. Eric Armstead was more about the team. Because believe it or not, whether you guys are supporters of Eric Armstead or not, if he would have tested the market, if he would have went out and spoken to teams like the Colts or teams like out there, they would have paid him more money than we did. I guarantee it. He would have got more money, or if not that amount of money, and he would have just signed somewhere else. But Eric Armstead wanted to stay with the 49ers. DeForest Buckner's not so much. A lot of you guys have certain players you want in the draft at the pick of 13. Many of you want receivers, and if the Niners, if they don't go receivers, you guys will go absolutely bonkers. And for those that want a corner or a defensive player, and the Niners do go receiver, you guys are going to go bunkers. Trust in the system. Trust that the 49ers are doing what's best for the 49ers. This team came together, this regime came together 3 years ago. In the third year, they made it to the Super Bowl. Trust the process. Trust the process, ladies and gentlemen. Trust the process. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and Jed York, they know what they're doing. Either you support your front office or you don't. I understand you guys are upset. I understand a lot of you guys are pissed off because we lost a great player like DeForest Buckner. Yes, we did. DeForest Buckner will always be a Niner in my heart. He's a great player out of Oregon. He was great. Love the kid. But he cost way too much money. He wasn't an Aaron Donald, in my opinion. Way too much money. Believe it or not, he can be replaced. Someone like, to me, this is my opinion. DeForest Buckner can be replaced. Nick Bosa cannot. George Kittle cannot be replaced. Even a player like D Ford cannot be replaced. Pass rushers, in my opinion, are more needed than interior linemen. Okay. Eric Armstead can be a pass rusher and he can go inside the middle and stop the run. DeForest Buckner was more of a D tackle, used occasionally as a pass rusher, but nowhere near um, Eric Armstead. Matter of fact, Eric Armstead, when he hit free agent, he hit free agency as a DE, not a DT. There's value in Eric Armstead. Many of you guys don't like him because he started slow, because he wasn't as productive. He wasn't as strong pushing the offensive lineman like DeForest Buckner was. But overall, my personal opinion, I like Eric Armstead just a little bit more than I like DeForest Buckner. I like them both. But I'll be honest with you, if you ask me which one do I want to keep, we kept the right one, in my opinion. You don't have to agree, and that's fine. I respect that. But the Niners, at the end of the day, they did what they had to do to make this team better. And they will continue to do what they got to do to continue to make this team better and make them able to compete every season. Okay. So let the DeForest Buckner thing go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a few days now, man. Move forward, move on. It's a new era with the San Francisco 49ers. We're moving forward. We now have 2 draft picks in the first round. We have cap space. Um, let's go after a top flight receiver. Let's go after a Jerry Jeudy. Let's go after a CeeDee Lamb. If they're there, go for it. But I'm going to trust the process of my front office. I am. I'm going to trust that they're doing what they have to do. Are they going to be perfect all the time? No. The Solomon Thomas is not a perfect pick. But you know what? You can't. Solomon Thomas, I mean, when it comes to draft picks, you don't always hit in every draft pick. Okay, you don't. There's a lot of look at a Todd Gurley, a great player, a great pick, and they just cut him in St. Louis, or excuse me, LA Rams. They just cut him. Okay. It's not always easy to pick a player in the draft, but the Niners they got Kittle in the fifth round, and they got Dre Greenlaw in the fifth round. Two great players in their with their own right in their own side of the ball, in my opinion. The Niners are going to be okay without DeForest Buckner. Yes, we're going to feel his absence. Yes, it's going to be noticed that he's not there, but we're going to feel it just fine with J.J. Jones, with Ronald Blair, or we're going to draft someone like Derek Brown out of Auburn, or we're going to do something to replace that hole. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, we still have three top pass rushers, man. Derek, D Ford, Eric Armstead, and Nick the Freak Bosa are still on our team. Okay, we're gonna be all right, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be fine on that side of the ball. Now, if we go to get a CD Lamb or a Jerry Judy out of Oklahoma or Alabama, we're going to be just fine. I believe and trust what Kyle Shanahan is doing. Now, Kyle Shanahan might have made some mistakes in the Super Bowl. He is new, but he's only going to learn through his mistakes. Do I believe we can get back to the Super Bowl in 2020? Why not? Why not? We can absolutely make it back to the Super Bowl in 2020 and make a run for it. Especially if we get another receiver, another tight end. Absolutely. Well, the play calling that Kyle Shanahan does, we're going to be just fine, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't give up on the Niners just because DeForest Buckner was traded. For some of you, some of you guys really hate John Lynch because of this move. But let me tell you, if DeForest Buckner doesn't do great with the Colts and Eric Armstead continues to develop into a better player, I'm going to be doing my shows and I'm going to be saying, see? And if Eric Armstead doesn't do good and DeForest Buckner does, I'll eat my crow. But I still believe they would have did the same thing financially. Even if the Niners would have not signed Eric Armstead, I don't know if they wanted to pay a player like DeForest Buckner $21 million a year with about $40 to $50 million guaranteed. You know what I mean? So, what's up, Ismael? He played for the Jets, and I think just recently he played for I'm trying to think. So I'm not too familiar with him to give you an honest decision, but I gotta believe he's a better upgrade than Pearson's, in my opinion. He has to be a better upgrade than the persons. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I do like the pickup. I do, and I don't think we're done in free agency. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders hasn't signed anywhere yet. I know the Cowboys have been said that they want to sign him, but listen, Emmanuel Sanders is a good receiver, but he wants a lot of money too. If Emmanuel Sanders was that great or he was kind of on the cheap, believe me, he would have been signed by now already. The fact that he's still a free agent by Thursday is either A, he wants more money than what he's worth, or B, he's just not as good as he used to be. So the Niners are waiting. All right. Nobody's really making no issues for him. Maybe he comes back to the Niners on a discount, and that's what the Niners need and want from him. And Emmanuel Sanders needs to know that the Niners have the 13th pick overall now. They can go for a CD Lamb. They can go for a Jerry Judy or Huggins from Alabama. So it's really going to be up to Emmanuel Sanders to see what he wants to do. But the Niners will never compromise, will never give in, will never overpay. And that's what I like about our 49ers. They will never overpay just because of a certain player. They won't. I don't want to compare and I don't want to say that we're anything like the Patriots. But let me tell you, the Patriots will never overpay anybody. And I like that idea. I like the idea that the Niners are looking at it the same way. We want you, we value you, but we're not going to overpay you to be on this team. Let's see here. Ismail says, what is your question, brother? We got rid of Buck. We can afford Sanders, but maybe we're looking into draft. See, that's the thing. That's the $1 million question. Yes, we can afford Emmanuel Sanders. And remember, we can match whatever he gets offered if we want to. We don't have a tender on him. But I think the Niners are kind of waiting, like, let's see what the market value is for him. If he doesn't get any hits, any bites in the market, the Niners can offer him a lower contract than what he wants, and he'll sign with us. And I think that's what the Niners are looking for. But you're right. If the Niners are looking into signing a top receiver like CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Judy or Huggins or um, any of those guys with a 13 overall, is there any need for someone like Sanders? You know what I mean? So we're just going to have to wait and see what the front office are trying to do. But I like the idea that we signed Jimmy Ward back. He was valuable. To me personally, he was more valuable than Emmanuel Sanders, in my opinion. And we signed him. So that's great. We signed Eric Armstead to 5 years. He's tied down and right at the right time, right where he's peaking. I do not believe Eric um, Eric Armstead is a 1 year wonder. Okay, we seen his progression. Remember, we drafted him out of Oregon. We seen him from year one get better, year two get better. He's been hurt, but the last 2 years, 2018 and 2019, he played the whole season without getting hurt, and he's gotten better. 2019 was his breakout year, 10 sacks, um, and he did so much more. I believe we're getting Eric Armstead at the right peak, man. He's starting to get comfortable with the defense. He's starting to play loose. He's not thinking too much. He's having fun. And man, if he has less than 10 sacks next year, it's a complete disappointment. That kid will go after the quarterback. Just watch. But yeah, this show's not going to be that long. I just wanted to come on here on a Thursday night, particularly because I was bored, and two because I wanted to kind of just touch bases with the Niner faithful, and I wanted to kind of just you know really post a question: do you guys trust the front office? So far, are you guys happy with the front office, or do you guys have your doubt? Me personally, everything that John Lynch and Carl Santa have done has been for the team. Certainly things I don't like, but I understand. I didn't like the idea that we traded DeForest Buckner, but I understand why we did it. Um, and we're not gonna bring Sua or Suda, whatever his name is. There's certain players we're not gonna bring in. I mean, they can, but I doubt it. You gotta remember the Niners are looking for players not only on the field but off the field to be great in the community. Those are the players they're trying to bring in. They're not just going to bring players just because of a name and risk that they're going to be cancerous on the field, within the locker room, and within the community. They're just not going to do that. Trust me. That if I have learned anything with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, that mistake they made with Reuben Foster, that decision and mistake they made with Reuben Foster was the straw that broke the camel's back. John Lynch will not make that mistake again, bringing a person with character concerns into the San Francisco locker room. They won't do it. Not the character concerns can be developed in the locker, but so far all the kids that we have in the locker room are just great players, man. And I really believe the Niners are going to try to do everything they can to keep a safe, productive, good locker room, in my opinion. Their focus is making sure that the locker room is stable and the players play together. They're not going to bring nobody like AD. They're not going to bring Tom Brady. Even though Tom Brady is not a bad person for the locker room, but they're not going to bring. The Niners are not going to do something to ruin what they have in the locker room just because the fan base wants. They're not going to bring a Todd Gurley. Okay. So please, if you want Todd Gurley, he's not coming here. We don't need him. We don't need a Clay Matthews. We don't. Like I said, I keep hearing you guys talk about, man, this player was cut. Oh, should we get him? That player, should we get that player? We have a Super Bowl caliber team. And the only two players that are not back on the team that are worthy is DeForest Buckner, which we traded, and Emmanuel Sanders, which is still a free agent. Now, somebody like Sheldon Day, well, was he really that valuable? Nah. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying we're not going to bring him back, but, so Telodo, he left, but we don't need him. We don't need him. So the Niners are focused on keeping the locker room clean. Like I said, John Lynch made a mistake by getting a player with character concerns in Reuben Foster. They went through that crap. They didn't like it, and I believe within my heart that John Lynch told himself that was the last straw. I'm not going to go through this again, and I will not put my team through this again. And because of Reuben Foster, the Niners will not. I don't care how good the name is. I don't care how good OBJ is. They will not bring anything with locker room concern, characters concern. They won't do it. So, Niner fans, either you trust the process of the front office or you don't. I know a lot of you want Todd Gurley. A lot of you want Clay Matthews, and I don't know who else out there you guys want. OBJ. But you got to stop and ask yourself, why do you want to bring poison to your team? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to add somebody like OBJ? He's overrated. He's not even that good. What's up, Nathaniel? How you doing, brother? Tom Brady is bad for the locker room. Well, I'm not too familiar with him in the locker room, probably, but I'm glad he's with the Buccaneers and not with the 49ers. We have Jimmy Garoppolo. So whether Tom Brady is good or he's not good for the locker room, it don't matter. We don't need him. And I'm glad he's with the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, I've been hearing a lot of Buccaneer fans that are not happy with Tom Brady. But then again, I mean, they had crab legs. Winston, even though he threw 30 touchdowns, he threw 30 interceptions. That's crazy. So for them, Tom Brady is definitely an upgrade. Not for us, not with Jimmy Garoppolo. Post Jimmy Garoppolo, if we didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo on the team, I would, even though Boston hater himself, I don't know if you agree with me, I would have been okay bringing Tom Brady in post Jimmy Garoppolo. After Jimmy Garoppolo, hell to the end and hell to the no. I would not have done that, and I'm glad we didn't. Um, Kyle would have probably lost the locker room by getting Brady. Most likely because Tom Brady at his age, he's very hard headed. He wants things done his way, and he would have clashed a lot with Kyle Shanahan, and it would have been very destructive for the locker room. I absolutely agree. And Todd, see, Nathaniel says Todd Gurley, he's done. He is. He got hurt, and I don't think he has recovered from that injury or can recover. Um, K1 and Warner could probably get Alden right. Oh, Ismail said this. K1 and Warner could probably get Alden right. We don't need an Alden Smith, if that's what you're referring to. Listen, Ismail and the rest of the viewers, we have three great pass rushers: Eric Armstead, D Ford, and the upcoming Nick the Freak Bosa. Why do we need someone like Alden Smith when we have three great pass rushers that are only going to get better? We don't need that. And this remark from Nathaniel, the Boston hater himself, is to the reference that I said a few minutes ago that if we didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo, that if we would have brought in Tom Brady, it would have been okay. We can agree to disagree. He says, no way, don't bring Tom Brady no matter what. I say that if we did not have Jimmy Garoppolo and all we had was the backups that we have now playing, then Tom Brady would not have been a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. But because we have Jimmy Garoppolo, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't even matter what Nathaniel thinks. We don't need to go there, near here or there. He's not coming to the Niners. He never was. And I'm glad that he's not because we have Jimmy Garoppolo, which is a great quarterback. He's only getting better, and I trust him a lot. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to open up a lot of eyes for a lot of you haters out there. Trust me. K1 and Warner can get Alden right, but Willis and Bowman couldn't. Stop it. Yeah, that's a good point, Ismael. That's a good point. As good as K1 and Warner are, Willis and Bowman are stronger minded individuals, in my opinion. If they couldn't do it, Alden Smith has demons that he's working with, and I don't know if he's totally over his demons. But in my opinion, again, with respectful opinion, is we don't need someone like Alden Smith. Why? Because we have Nick the Freak Bosa, we have Eric Armstead, and we have D Ford. Three top flight. Three. A lot of teams don't have three top flight pass rushers like we do. They may have one, they may have two. And you guys remember Ronald Blair the third. That kid is special too. DJ Jones is special too. Yes, DeForest Buckner was great. But because of the money, we had to move on. Like I said from the beginning of this show, we do not want to turn into the LA Rams. We don't want to put all our chips in the middle and hope that we win the hand. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are doing whatever they can to keep the Super Bowl window open and to keep us competitive every year. The Rams were competitive only in 2018. The only year they were competitive was 2018. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost it to the Patriots. and now their team is disarray. They lost multiple players. I read all the names they lost. They're probably going to lose more players. They have no money to sign Jalen Ramsey. They mortgaged their future, and they did not get the payout they wanted. What's going to happen when they got to pay Robert Woods or the other kid? The Niners are not going to make the mistake the Rams did. They are not going to overpay for no play. I don't care how good. They won't even overpay for Nick Bosa as good as Nick Bosa. They will not even overpay for George Kittle. Okay? They won't. George Kittle, as great as a game changer that he is, they will sign him eventually. But let's just say George Kittle wants like $30 million a year. I'm not saying that's what he wants. Let's say the Niners are not just going to give him 30, just mortgage the future just because he wants it. Not that he's going to want it. Okay, Nathaniel, I'll send you the link right now, bro. I'll send you the link in a minute. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to do it. So the Niners do everything with perspective. They're not. Let me bring in Nathaniel in here real quick, guys. Give me 1 second, please. They're not going to sign George Kittle to a crazy lucrative, beyond, in my opinion, contract. But I really believe that Mr. Kittle will work with us in getting signed. You know, they're going to pay him because he's worth it, but they're not going to overpay. If that makes any sense. Let me bring in my boy real quick, Nathaniel. I'm sending you the link right now. Okay, there's the link on the Niner Sickness 2. Come in when you're ready. So yeah, and I'm bringing Nathaniel right now to get his. No, I understand, Ismael. Kittle is a badass. He is. He's a badass. But the Niners are not going to overpay for him in case he wanted ridiculous money. They won't do it. They're going to pay him a big contract that he deserves. If he asks for a lucrative 25, 28 million a year, as much as he wants, they want to, they won't do it, in my opinion. Give me 1 second. Let me bring in my boy, Nathaniel. What's up, Nathaniel? Let me bring him in. Get him in here. There he is. What's up, brother? How you doing? Can you hear me? He's froze.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're not moving.
Oh boy, you're freezing
No,
up.
that's not. There you are.
Yeah.
Can you hear me and see me okay now?
Yeah,
Okay,
I hear you.
perfect. So come in, bring me some of your thoughts. What's going on, brother?
Hey, I'm just looking at these people talking about all these people getting cut, and I mean, Todd Gurley. Why would you want a Todd Gurley? We already allocate. There are what is it? 24 running backs in the NFL right now that make $5 million a year or more. We have 4 of them.
Yep.
Why would we want to put and allocate any more money to running back position?
We
Doesn't
don't.
make sense.
We
Doesn't
don't
make
need.
sense.
Not when there's so many needs elsewhere.
Yeah, and plus, he's no good. That knee is done. You don't take a guy with a contract like that and cut him and take over a $20 million cap hit for this year if he was still worth his weight at all.
Yep,
Why would you
I
do that?
agree.
Basically, they scratched him a check because they hadn't paid him all his guaranteed money. They had to turn around when they cut him and scratch him a check for over $14 million
Yep,
just to let him go.
yep. Yeah, they
Yeah,
they they went the Rams. Well, they didn't expect him to get hurt the way he did, but the Rams went ahead and just mortgaged their future. They
yeah.
put all their chips in,
And the
hoping
thing
to win
is,
a Super
now
Bowl, and
they're
they didn't
having a
get it.
fire sale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and then I heard somebody wanted Clay Matthews to come to us.
No.
I'm like,
Why?
why? Exactly. I mean, you
He,
have Greenlaw, you have Fred Warner, you have
but you're
K1.
naming linebackers. This guy can't play linebacker. He
You know,
is
and
he is
yeah, he
a
passed.
pass rusher that cannot play run defense. That isn't a very good pass rusher at this point. He's way past his prime. And why would you want to allocate more money once again? Because Clay Matthews, you're going to pay for the name. Uh, why would you want another guy to rush the edge that, first of all, is mediocre at best? Secondly, is going to cost you, a fairly premium dollar even for an elderly guy. So it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And he had I mean, he had a sacks on a pretty weak defensive team with the
Yeah,
Rams.
but he had hardly any pressures.
No, you're right. And
Yeah.
where are you going to fit him? I mean, who are you going to want to take a D Ford out for him? No. Are you going to want to take Nick Bosa out for him? No way. Where are
No.
you going to put him?
Yeah. There's nowhere to put him. Are
No.
you
So
going to take reps away from Armstead on the edge on rundowns where he can't
for
play
Matthews,
rundowns
no,
anyway? I
Uh,
mean, why? Yeah. I don't.
absolutely.
I don't know
I
the
know.
process there. I don't get it.
Let me get you real quick just to change the note a bit. Since you're on now, give me your thoughts on persons being released and then going after Compton or whatever his name is.
Yeah. That's a step in the right direction. You basically got rid of a player that's not very good for one that's better. Is he enough better? I don't know. But here's the
Time
thing:
will tell. Yeah.
you're looking at a couple of things. Is this the guy you want to back up? Uh, the, what's his name? The one we drafted last year. Um,
Oh,
the offensive line. He played tackle, but they want
yeah,
him to
yeah,
be a
yeah.
guard.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
trying to. I can't think of his name right now, but I know who you're
School.
talking about. Yeah, school,
Yeah.
school.
Okay. So they want him to be a guard, and so
And
is
he did
he
play guard for in
a little bit
2019.
that late in the year? But he played a lot more tackle during the year than he
Yeah.
played guard. And if he's the answer, then we already have the answer, and he's meant to be a backup. Or is it the other way around? Do they plan to draft one? Only time will tell. So I don't know where they're going with that, but the bottom line is this: we are in a position that, you know, we're not the 49ers of 2 and 3 years ago that had this ton of cap space and could just go out aggressively after anybody we wanted. Now it's all about we're gonna have to make moves like this move with DeForest Buckner. I mean,
Real quick, it
I
was
don't know why.
Brunskill. Was his name?
No, yeah. Oh, it's Brunskill. Yeah, School is the guy that was on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, they want this whole
Thank you,
Buckner
Ismail.
thing like it's something. I mean, that is the kind of move you have to make to stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't just sit up and everybody that you drafted all these people and they're playing good and they're gonna require premium contracts. I mean, you have to look at it for what it is. I love
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner. He was one of my favorite players. I don't like seeing him go, but the bottom line is this: when you look at this from a value perspective, you start looking around the league. All right,
Mm-hmm.
you've got the standard, which is Aaron Donald, and then you start looking around at um, is he better than that D tackle that they got there in Philly? Uh, but he's getting paid more. Is he better than that D tackle that they got in Cincinnati? You know, but he's getting paid more. I mean, I can sit up and name about 4 or 5 guys that it's questionable. Is Buckner better than them? But he's being paid like he's better than everybody than Aaron Donald. So are you good at $21 million? Truth be told, when you look around the league, you're overpaying for this guy.
Yep.
So why would you do that? No. Instead
Yeah.
of
As
you
good
look
as
at
he is, it's
yeah,
not worth
yeah,
21
you
million.
look at it and you can't do that. I mean, we first started out when the Shanahan and Lynch came in, and we were overpaying for guys. We're not in that position anymore. When Pierre Garcon came in, he got more money than he was worth. When Goodwin came in, he got more money than he was worth. When Juszczyk came in, he got more money than he was worth. I mean, that was what you had to do. No one wanted to come here, and we
Yep.
had a ton of money. So that was the
We
only
had
way to lure them. Now you've got a Super Bowl caliber team, and it is important now to get players at a value so that you can stay relevant. And the best way to get value players is through the draft.
I agree.
The other
I,
way is sometimes you get these second tier free agents that were on teams that never really got to shine because they were behind two other talented players at that position or something. So, their reps were limited and they break out. One of the ones that I looked at last year um, was that guy that went to Tampa Bay. He was behind the two
oh,
edge rushers from Denver.
Shaq,
Barrett.
Shaq Barrett, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted him for us.
Yeah,
And
that kid's special.
yeah, it would have been a 1 year prove it. And we would have had him for 1 year and he'd have been gone because we
Yep.
wouldn't have been able to keep him.
Nope. Not what he got paid from the Bucks.
No.
Or I think
But
they
that
tagged
one
him,
year,
something like that. Yeah.
that 1 year, yeah, we could have kept him for that 1 year. But then he'd have had to go. Yeah. But
Like the point
stuff
that I
like
was
that.
making, and I don't know if you agree with me or not with the about overpaying. I just don't see the Niners overpaying no matter who you are, what player you are, even like a George Kittle.
Oh,
Um,
no. See, the thing is, George Kittle's the standard. When you talk about players that are game changers, they're going to set the standard. So George Kittle is going to be the highest paid tight end. So you're gonna, in theory, probably overpay for him a bit, unless he decides that you're not going to overpay for him, because he's staying. There's no leaving for him because
so if there's a player they're gonna have to lock in, it'll be him.
he's definitely one of them.
And then Mr. Freak himself, Bosa will be another.
Well,
If he
you know,
continues that
yeah,
trend of the
that's
way
what
he,
you have to say. I'm like, he's only 1 year. The jury's
let's say
still
every
out.
year he gets better
If
from this
if
year.
he stays on the trajectory he's on, he's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. And real quick, let me just answer Ismail's question, and then you can agree or disagree with me. I don't. Yes, we signed Gerlin back, but we signed him back to be a backup to Rich Berg. I
Yes.
just don't see Rich Berg. Rich Berg is a better player
Hmm.
center
Yeah.
than Gerlin, and I just don't see Gerlin winning the over Rich Berg, in my opinion.
No. But here's the thing. It's for depth. That was a depth move, and I would look for the Niners to potentially draft somebody, whether it's this year or next year, that is going to solidify that center position, because I think that Richburg has not really panned out the way we hoped.
Oh no, not even
Uh,
close.
and if he has another year that kind of stays along those lines, his deal becomes extremely cap friendly at the end of next season. So we can part ways with him for little of nothing. And
Yeah,
I see
I,
that.
I
I see that happening if he doesn't.
no, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. We're gonna give him another year in 2020 to see where he's at, and
Yeah.
depending on what
And
he
see,
does.
that tells you how the Rams had to feel about Gurley, because Richburg would be a hit if we let him go now, but nothing like that.
Yeah, no, the Rams
$20
are in
million
disarray.
cap hit.
No, I talked to a few Ram fans 2 years ago, and I told them, Cap, I'm not too good with the cap money, but just being what I saw, I knew they were going to eventually, in a year or two,
Oh,
we're going to get to a point where they're going to have to cut
oh,
players
oh, you
because
saw
of
it.
the cap,
I mean,
and they just
look at how
made.
they did. And
Yep,
and they were killing their draft capital. I didn't understand what their philosophy was. You have
still don't.
the highest paid defensive tackle in the league. You have now one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. You have one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. Now you went and got one of the corner that's going to be either maybe the highest paid corner in the league. I mean, you start, and the highest paid running back in the league was there. I mean, you start putting all these guys in that rare air where they're like elite contracts. Well, what are you going to do with these guys? And then on top of that, to get a lot of these dudes, for golf, they traded up. They gave up a ton to trade up for golf.
Yep.
For Brandon Cooks, you gave up a number one. You gave up a number one for Sammy Watkins before that to get him there, and then you let him go after just a couple of years, and then you give up a one for Cooks and pay him the same money you were paying Watkins basically. Uh,
And then
and
they gave a
then
couple ones for Ramsey.
yeah, a couple more.
I
So
think they
it's
don't
not.
have a one into 2025,
No.
2020.
The next 2 years, just the two Jalen Ramsey ones. The one for this year and next year they don't have. So in 2022 they have a first round draft pick.
And I wouldn't put it past them to somewhere next year give up their 2023 for a player they bring in. I just don't
Well,
understand their philosophy
well, let's put it
and what
this
they're doing.
way: they're in a position now where they're almost in rebuild mode. You got a couple of pieces. You got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on the defense. You got Jared Goff on the offense. That's your guy, and you still got your two receivers. They're trying to get rid of Brandon Cooks, by the way.
Yeah, because of the cap.
Yeah, and you still got Cooper Cup and what's his name, the one from Buffalo. He's pretty good for them.
Woods,
There you go, Robert
Robert
Woods.
Woods.
Yeah, and you know they're still good there. They need to work with their line. They need depth at running back. You know they got a
Yeah,
lot
now
of
they
work to do, and their defense is suspect.
yeah.
And, oh,
If it,
Fowler left too, huh? You
Fowler,
lost.
yeah,
You
yeah,
lost
he went to
Fowler. You
he
lost
went to Atlanta.
yeah. There was a. I know. I had a list of guys that
Let
left,
me,
like
let me
7 or 8 guys.
yeah, let me name them just and this is from the list you sent earlier that I named them earlier.
Hmm.
This is the people that if they haven't lost any more since this show. Todd Gurley, running back, linebacker Dante Fowler, D tackle Mitchell, Michael Brockers,
Oh yeah,
linebacker Corey Littleton, Clay Matthews, Robbie Coleman, corner, safety Eric Whittle, and their defensive coordinator Wade Phillips. And then
yeah,
you put on there Brandon Cook is probably going to be traded as well.
yes,
And they still haven't signed Jalen Ramsey to the
yeah,
deal that he's going to want.
yeah. Because he's in his fifth year right now,
Yep.
so they got him under that, and that's a nice
Don't be
little
surprised if they
change.
let him go.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So Todd Gurley was a rookie of the year just 5 years ago, and yes, it's because of the injury. But the I was talking to a Rams fan earlier today, and he's like, "Well, we're still going to be in the playoffs." I'm like, "How?
Yeah, please.
You
There's
look
no
if you look if you win 4 games,
there's
maybe
no way
five.
that this team is better than it was last year. There's
No,
no
not when they
way.
lost like 8 players.
Look at that group you just lost, and you don't have any draft picks.
Yeah, to put any top draft picks. You have to really hit on the low ones just to
I
have a
think
prayer.
I don't think they draft until the third round. I don't remember. I have to double check on that, but yeah, I don't think they draft till the third round.
Nope, they don't have a second round. Or yeah, I think third or fourth. But
Yeah,
they're in disarray, man. They're if anybody's going to take, to me personally, the new Rams are going to be the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to step up. The Rams are going to be the
yeah.
solid. They're going to be in
Well,
the fourth place.
and Arizona's biggest. issue. Well, first of all, defensively, they need to get it together, and they need an offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know,
I think they'll address that in the draft this year.
but they don't need like an offensive lineman. They need a whole offensive line.
Well, they have three number one picks.
Yeah, yeah,
If
they
they if
might
they
want to.
use them on linemen,
Yeah, they might want to burn them heavily on linemen.
it wouldn't be bad, and
No,
they would be scary
yeah,
because they
and
have the receiving core, they have the running back. I like that. The best thing that can ever happen to that guy, man, to bring the kid they got last year from what's his name?
about Kyler Murray.
No, the one that ran all over us twice.
Oh, Drake.
Drake, that kid is special, man. That kid is like
Did
a
they
new.
keep him?
Yeah, oh yeah. They tagged him.
Oh wow, I'm sure he's not too thrilled about that.
No, but they'll sign him. I mean, they have money.
Hmm.
I think they just want to get another. I guess, and they're playing it smart. And I'm not going to give them too much praise, but they're trying to see if was a 1 year thing or a 2 year thing. And if we can do it again, then I think they'll sign him to a big contract. They just don't want to sign him to a big contract and then it just be a 1 year
I'll tell you this:
dilemma.
I'm not doing it. If I'm them, I'm not doing it. Draft running backs. Don't pay them. I mean, I'm sorry that there's a lot of people that love running backs, and I do too. But the bottom line is, they're a liability. They eat up a lot of cap space. You know what? We might spend more in running backs than any other team. But here's the thing: the difference is we don't spend money like that on any one running back.
Nope.
You know, Todd Gurley's contract that equals like three guys on our team.
Yep.
Like
Three
yeah,
three very
and
productive
the
guys
thing
on our
is,
team.
you can't get that kind of. You get similar productivity to Todd Gurley from those three, but you never have all three of them hurt at the same time.
Nope. Not only that, but the fresh legs.
Yeah.
Going with the hot hand, depending on what the defense is giving. That's one thing I love about Kyle. He either goes with Breda's hot. He goes with Mostert or Coleman. Look at the two playoff games. Coleman, he went with Tevin Coleman, which was hot for the Minnesota game, and then Raheem Mostert took over against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And we have that option. If you have a Todd Gurley, regardless whether you want to or not, you got to go with him no matter who you play. So
and don't get me wrong, Todd Gurley's a different level talent than any of the guys we have. He really is.
But for
He's
the system
just
that we run, though, they're good.
yeah, but he's different level.
When
Todd
healthy,
Gurley's
yes.
special, but it's just not worthwhile. We're getting similar productivity, for a lot less, and it's more diverse. You know, you're not dependent on one guy because if one guy gets hurt, he's gone.
Yep.
We can have a guy hurt, run this one. We have two guys hurt, run this one and that one. It makes it where I mean, Coleman missed time last year. Breida missed time last year. And the productivity didn't fall off as a result.
No, not when you have more than one or two players they can come in and fill in
Yeah.
that role
Yeah.
and not miss
So,
a beat.
yeah, I think that's a important way. That's really, watching some of these 2 and 3 back by committee things, it's really soured me to paying running backs.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen it too often now.
We're seeing it right now with over in Dallas. Ezekiel Elliott.
I think that was a mistake. I mean, plus his attitude's terrible.
Yeah, and now with giving Amari Cooper $100 million contract, which I don't know. It's I don't think he's a game changer. I think he's just an elite.
He's a good wide receiver. He's not on the level of a Hopkins or a Jones or a Michael Thomas. He's not one of those guys. I don't see
No.
why they're paying him that. Even when he was playing well, Odell Beckham, he's not. Amari Cooper's not there. So I don't get why it is that they want to throw all this money at this guy.
Yeah, they're a whole different cat. Let me ask you a question, and I just wanted your honest opinion. Um, if the Niners, even against your will, drafted a receiver at 13,
It's not against my will.
no,
Oh,
well, okay,
okay. You know, I just think that there are so many players that you could get there. Um, you know, there's some corners I would be really interested in, especially the guy from Ohio State. Uh, you know, they've got receivers that I would be okay with. They've got a lineman or two that I'd be okay with. I just think that you can get a blue chipper at 13. But the thing is, I would be really quick that if the names in my head, and I'll go through all those names tomorrow. I already said I was going to do it tomorrow, so I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it tomorrow.
okay.
And, you know, if there was a bunch of them still on the board for some reason, like if there were 5 or 6 guys that I was interested still on the board, from going from 13 to 18 is a consideration at that point. You know, it might not be a consideration if there's only 1 or 2 of those guys on the board. So I'm not opposed to wide receiver, offensive lineman, uh, corner. Uh, I'm kind of souring on safety, you know, probably because of the signing we made, but I'm not against it yet. You know, but there's only one safety I'm interested in. And if we could get him, yeah, we could upgrade that position.
I don't know how close you've been following receivers. I don't know if you follow college that much or not, but
Sure.
um, if let's say we're sitting at 13, okay,
Hmm.
John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they're going to take a receiver just for sake of argument. They're going to take
Yeah.
a receiver,
Hmm.
and the 2 receivers that are available, or 3, I should say, is Jerry Judy from Alabama,
Hmm.
CD Lamb from Oklahoma,
Hmm.
or what's his name? The young kid Henry Ruggs the third from Alabama. Out of those 3, who would you go with and why?
Mm. You know what? They all bring a little something different to the table. Uh, I would probably lean toward Judy,
Hmm.
but it's not by much. You know, I'm like flip a coin. You know, let's put it this way: if somebody offered me something, all 3 of them were there, and they offered me to drop back 2 spots, I'm doing it, and I'll take whichever one's left.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, when I see those 3, and I think about Kyle, Ruggs is a Kyle guy. You know, he's just kind of multifaceted. You know, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's like a running back slash kick returner. He catches the
Yep.
ball really well. He separates well. That's a Kyle guy. You know, the other guys have other attributes. You know, when you talk about Judy separates pretty well. You know, he's one of those guys that loses focus sometimes and has a tendency to drop the ball. Yeah, he's not as sure-handed as Ruggs. Um, and
CB Lamb from
CeeDee
Oklahoma. I
Lamb
think
is kind of less, you know, he's really sure-handed and just not a burner, doesn't separate as well. Um, you know, good with the contested catch. Uh, so not really a Kyle guy, you know. I don't have a
yeah,
problem, but not a Kyle
I
guy.
think I think he likes Henry Huggs, and I think Henry Huggs we could pick him up at 18
Yeah.
if we traded with someone like with the Miami Dolphins. There's a kid that I like, and we'll talk more in depth tomorrow in our show tomorrow. But there's a cornerback that I like personally, and his name is we all know his brother. He just got traded to the Buffalo Bills. Trevon Diggs out of Alabama is a really good corner, in my opinion. Watching him play for Alabama, um, I like him a little bit. But let me ask you this: would you be opposed? Okay, I know it's just for tonight's show. We'll be more in depth tomorrow and more realistic tomorrow show.
Mm.
But Would you trade up? Hear me now. Trade up. Give up your 31st and your 13 to go up and get, where's this kid's name? Jeff Okuda from Ohio State
No,
corner.
but that's the guy. That's the corner. If he's there, there is no trading down. There is no, yeah. Akuda is the guy.
I don't think he'll get passed out of the top
I don't
10
think
though.
he'll get out of the top 5 or 6 personally.
So, but you still wouldn't trade up to get him?
No. Mm-mm.
Really?
You got to go too far. You got to give up way too much to do it. We're not a team that's desperate for that level of talent. It
Okay,
doesn't make
good
sense for
good
us to
point. Good
give up. It doesn't make sense for us to give up the amount of capital we would have to give up to get there. Now, let's say that you know, somehow, some way, that DeForest Buckner trade didn't go the way it went with Indy. That
Okay.
he was there, and we decided to just hang on to him, right? And
Okay.
now on the 5th year and wouldn't sign him, and so he's just lingering around, and somebody decided, oh, we want DeForest Buckner. I was like, well, they happen to be in the top 5 or 6, and they said, okay, well, this is what you do. You give us that draft pick, and we'll pick our guy up. And under those circumstances, maybe it would have went that way,
Okay.
But I don't really see giving up a lot of capital. If it would have been like basically DeForest Buckner for him, yeah, I would have been with that.
Interesting thought process. Yeah, I like that. I like that kid from my house. I think he's by far uh, the best corner in this year's draft.
Yeah, I
Um,
think he sets himself apart. But there's another couple of guys that I like, but
yeah, but I think that
mhm.
and like I said, I know they won't trade up. I don't think they want to covenant that much, but I think if those receivers that we mentioned are gone by 13, I think the Niners will be in the best interest to trade down if they find a suitable partner to gain a second round pick, and then trade down also from the 31st.
Well, I
And
wouldn't do both. I probably don't need to do both. One or the other. Um, and you're really good. And when you drop from 13 to 18, it depends on who's on the board when you get to 13. There has to be one of two things that happens. Either nobody that you're really interested in at 13 that you couldn't get at 18. That's pretty much the bottom line. You can't get that quality of player. If you can get them at 18, it makes sense to make the move. But if there's somebody that's sticking around there that kind of separated themselves from the bunch, maybe you want to go ahead and make that choice.
I was looking at some scenarios. Let's say we do choose someone at 13,
Mhm.
and then we go down to 31st. One of the trade partners that I was looking into, and I thought it would be ironic to trade with, but they need a quarterback, and if there was a quarterback still in the first round, because a lot of teams they like that fifth year option.
Mhm.
That's why they like to come into. A lot of
Yeah.
people are like ask me
They
like,
love
why
to
do they?
throw that on quarterbacks, especially.
Yes, why do they come in at the last round for a quarter? Because of the fifth year option. But
Mhm.
I think the Colts will be a team they can come and trade us their second round pick for our 31st pick, so
Sure.
they can get someone underneath Rivers to kind of develop, and we can get their second and maybe what fourth
Yeah,
pick
that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
at
And
all.
and I think their second. Oh man, what is it?
It's up there.
38 or 39, something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
it's toward the top. That's for sure.
And then we can go either our safety or a guard or our tackle, depending who's there.
Yeah.
That we can determine. But I think that would be a good move. But I think the 31st, and I think the Niners were planning to move from the 31st. But if there was a player they coveted, they would have took him there. But I think now having the 13 available, to me, like you said, there's no reason to keep both of them. I think the 31st, if we find a suitable team that wants to trade, and depending who's on the board at that time,
Huh?
I think that 31 will be traded to someone depending what they offer us.
I tell you this, I would not be surprised if you don't hear about another trade before the draft. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't know, just the
okay,
feeling I get.
okay, that's interesting. So what do you think, and what do you think that Emmanuel Sanders will end up if he doesn't end up with us?
Hot and heavy, Dallas is talking about him right now.
Yeah, but Dallas, I don't know how much money. I don't think that Dallas has that much money on cap, and I know that they paid Cooper, and then they signed that they signed somebody for top dollar too. They just signing either they brought in a corner or a pass rusher. I forgot who it
Well, on
was.
top of that, they tagged Dak.
Yeah, they tagged Dak.
Huge
Yeah,
pay increase.
yeah. So I don't think they're in the market for. They may want Emmanuel Sanders, but I don't think they can
No,
afford
they can
him.
make him fit.
Do you?
They believe in burning it to the end. That's Dallas's thing. We don't want to do that because we want to have some flexibility. So
Well,
we're not.
you gotta. What people realize too is that people need to realize is that because we have like 13 point. I don't know how much over the cap, but 7 million of those 13 needs to be set aside for all the kids from the
Mhm.
draft the
Yeah,
draft.
but still, like that 4 to 5 million. A lot of times, that's things like that Emmanuel Sanders trade and stuff like that. You have to be able to leave yourself the ability to pick up somebody when you need them in season. If you tap out all your funds, you can't.
Yeah,
You know, and not to say you'll need to, but what if you do?
yeah. We definitely don't need to do that. I think that their objective right now, honestly, is trying to put a package together for George Kittle, and I think that's if I'm not mistaken, that's the number one thought process right now.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, if there's a player that's going to cover anything pretty much what he wants on the market as the best tight, because he was the one he's going to set the market for
Yeah.
tight ends,
Yeah.
and whenever you set the
Austin
market,
Hooper's already at 11, so you know it's more than that.
see now, now from the Browns now, um, the idea that Kyle Shannon really wanted to bring him in, I obviously didn't want to bring him over 11, but to
No,
go after him was surprising.
they what they were doing was they were looking at. This is my guess. I'm speculating, of course, but they were looking at what Kelsey makes and saying, maybe he'll hover right around what he makes, which is slightly under 10 million a year. So if you get him for like 9, pair him with Kittle, I understand that thought process. Austin Hooper is not the blocker Kittle is, but he's a hell of a receiving tight end.
Yeah, he would complement. They would complement each other very very well.
Mm-hmm.
That would
He's
not
a decent blocker and a very good pass catcher.
now right now that because he's gone to the Browns, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're looking at Eifert. What's your thought process on Eifert?
I was like, he's basically Jarrett McKinnon in a bigger body.
Jarrett McKinnon.
Injured reserve.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the kid from the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He stays injured.
That's
But
the whole point. If you bring
you know what?
somebody
And
to
the
your
thing
roster, and not
is,
going to play
Beto, he was so good.
prior to
Yeah.
his injuries. Oh
Oh
yeah,
man. I mean, I don't know what he can do now. He's been injured so long, but he was so good.
yeah.
So I understand why you might want to take a shot on him anyway. If you could get him on a 1-year prove it deal, you might do it anyway. I'm not opposed to that. Why not? If he stays healthy and he's anywhere near what he was.
Now I know that they got rid of. I know they were not going to keep 4 tight ends last year, and they went with 3. And I know that they went with Toledo, whatever his name is. But
He's gone now.
when they let go of Hayden, the rookie from Stanford last year. Oh man, I was upset, and I forgot what team he went to, but he's a starter over there, and he's tearing it up this year.
He's not really playing that great. And Toilolo went to the same team. I know that.
Where the other kids at?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta look into that. I'm not 100% on that, but I heard that he was playing really good.
Yeah, he's okay.
Hayden or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he's okay. He's not setting the world on fire for sure.
So the guy that we have backing up Kittle right now.
He's better. Yeah, he's better.
Good. But anyway, yeah, man. So we're gonna we'll go ahead and end it, brother. But let's set it up for tomorrow, man. Tomorrow will be interesting. Hopefully we'll have a full crew tomorrow, and tomorrow we can definitely break down the draft picks. We can free agency where we're at. We can definitely I know Mr. Boston Hater has quite a few people that he likes. That we can talk about tomorrow. I believe we'll go on about 7:30 or 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, just to kind of give Mr. Florida Mike a little bit of playing time. Or maybe 8:00. We'll let you guys know. But
we'll play it by ear. We'll get with Mike.
Yeah, but just again, if you guys can follow us on YouTube, man, we would appreciate it. If you can subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube, and follow us. We would appreciate follow us on Facebook at Niner Sickness, on Twitter
don't forget
at
Niner Sickness
49.
Don't forget to hit that share too.
And don't forget to hit that share button, and follow us on Instagram at 49er Sickness 49. Share their video, absolutely. And that way we can get more people to join our shows, man. So we will be live tomorrow, God willing. I would say 7:30, 8:00. We will let you know throughout the day. So stay tuned here on the Niner Sickness page on Facebook. We will notify you when we're coming live tomorrow. We should have a full crew, and we'll bring some interesting topics that we'll be talking about. So keep an eye on us. For those that came on tonight and joined us, Ismael, a lot of the young kids. What's up, Freddie, Gerardo? How you doing? Welcome. We appreciate you guys. But before I close the show, just because Freddie came at the last second, I just want to give you the opportunity to answer his question that he brought up. He says, what do you think of Buckner being gone? Even though we discussed it already, but just for his sake.
Bottom line, it was a decision that it was a tough decision, but this is the kind of decision that teams that want to have long windows of playoff and championship caliber football have to make. You keep Buckner along with Armstead, that is a recipe for being the Los Angeles Rams. And you have a few guys on your roster that are really good, and then everybody else is, almost practice squad level, just above that. And that's not the way you want your team built. You want to be, solid at all levels. And on some areas, you want to excel. And with or without DeForest Buckner, we excel on the defensive line. So it's not about, okay, we're not as good, but we're still damn good. And I think people miss that. And being able to, it's almost like this. You don't choose when you had Armstead over Buckner. That's not the way the choice was made. The choice was made. Do you want Eric Armstead and the 13th overall pick? See, that's where the thing comes in. Or do you want DeForest Buckner, his $21 million a year salary, his $57 million in guarantees, as opposed to Eric Armstead's 30-some million dollars in guarantees over the first 3 years of this deal? And probably a third or fourth round compensatory pick. I mean, this keeps you more relevant. You get to have the opportunity to make more splashes in the draft, which is what you need because you don't have that abundance of cap space. So you need to build your team through the draft. And when you're drafting, you need to have the opportunity to hit and miss. And right now, before we got that pick, we didn't have a lot of draft capital. With this pick, we've got a lot now. We went
Yep.
from
This,
minimal draft capital to a ton.
yep.
And we could
And we can definitely get even more
Yeah,
through
we
this.
could make
We have
this
more.
into. You could look at this 13 pick, and it could turn into 3, 5, 6 players. Who knows? Depending on what they
Yep.
do with it. If they don't draft there, it can turn into a lot. And plus, since you have that, you get you a blue chipper right there at 13, and now you can use that 31st to maybe turn it into 2 or 3 different players, and it gives you more opportunities to fill holes, to create depth, and to actually bring quality players in at a on rookie deals. And that's where you get your value. You've got on teams that are like this, where you got a great team, and you got to have value players. There has to be your Fred Warners. There has to be your Dre Greenlaws. There has to be your George Kittles. You have to have these guys, Matt Breidas, you know, undrafted free agents, 5th and 6th round picks that are just, tearing it up. 3rd round pick starters. That is getting value, and that's important, because if you don't do that, you're not going to maintain that success.
Yep. I agree. With that said, I am going to call it out because I was just informed my beautiful goddaughter's on the line for long distance calling me. So I'm going to shut it down on that note. Thank you, Boston Hater, for showing up and with the show tonight. But we will be having our show tomorrow, Friday. Stay tuned. God willing, about 7:30 or 8, we will be on here. Me and myself and Boston Hater, and hopefully our other 3 colleagues will be on here with us, and we'll be talking a full show regarding the so far the free agency, where we're heading, and talking a little bit about the draft. So look forward to following us and watching our show tomorrow. We will be here ready to go and enjoy our Friday with you guys. So please share and let people know that we will be on tomorrow. So that the more the merrier. And don't forget, stay blessed and stay safe out there, man. Be careful, especially with everything that's going on. Stay safe and do your part so that we can get over this as quickly as we can. Once again, Boston Hater, thank you for your time. Much appreciated, brother. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward for our
Hey,
show tomorrow.
always, and thanks for having me, man.
Always a pleasure, man. You guys have a great night. Be blessed. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. We are out.